Hey there, from one remote creative to another. As a remote creative, you're likely juggling multiple projects, tight deadlines, and the constant pressure to be on. But what about your mental health? It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of ourselves. While it offers incredible flexibility and freedom, it can also lead to unique mental health challenges. So how do we navigate this new world of work without sacrificing our well-being? In this video, we're going to delve into some of the most common mental health challenges faced by remote creatives and, more importantly, discuss practical strategies to overcome them. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the hopefully soundproof room: isolation. One of the biggest downsides of remote work is the lack of in-person interaction. It's incredibly easy to find yourself feeling isolated and lonely, especially if you're naturally extroverted or used to a bustling office environment. Trust me, I've been there. You spend hours upon hours staring at a screen, talking to maybe your cat, who, let's be honest, is probably judging your sleep schedule. But here's the thing. Even though we work remotely, we don't have to be socially remote. There are tons of ways to combat isolation and loneliness. First off, schedule regular social interactions, both online and offline. And I'm not just talking about Zoom meetings, though those can be helpful too. I'm talking about intentionally carving out time for things you enjoy doing with people you love, like joining a virtual book club, having a weekly video chat with your family, or even just picking up the phone for a good old-fashioned chat with a friend. And when you're feeling up to it, try to get some face-to-face interaction. Meet a friend for coffee, go for a walk in the park, or check out that new bookstore you've been meaning to visit. Another great way to combat loneliness is to join online communities and forums related to your work or hobbies. This can be a great way to connect with like-minded people, share ideas, and even collaborate on projects. Plus, it's nice to know that you're not alone in the struggles and joys of being a remote creative. Let's be real. One of the biggest perks of remote work is also one of its biggest challenges: flexibility. It's awesome to be able to set your own hours and work from anywhere, but it can also make it super easy to blur the lines between work and personal life. And before you know it, you're answering emails during dinner, brainstorming ideas in the shower, and basically living at your desk. This constant accessibility to work can lead to burnout, resentment, and a whole lot of stress. So, how do we create healthy boundaries when our office is often just steps away from our bedroom? First and foremost, set specific work hours, and here's the tricky part: stick to them as much as possible. Treat your work hours like you would if you were going into an office. Clock in, focus on your tasks, and when the clock strikes 5, or whatever time you choose, clock out. Another crucial step in setting boundaries is creating a dedicated workspace, even if it's just a corner of your kitchen table. Having a designated area for work can help signal to your brain that it's time to focus and be productive. Plus, it can make it easier to step away from work at the end of the day. When you're done working, close your laptop, tidy up your workspace, and transition into your personal time. And speaking of personal time, let's talk about the importance of digital detox. Try setting aside specific times each day to unplug completely. Put your phone on airplane mode, close your laptop, and resist the urge to check social media. Instead, read a book, go for a walk, or spend time with loved ones. Chapter 3: Imposter Syndrome. Taming the inner critic and owning your success. Raise your hand if you've ever felt like a total fraud, like you're just one email away from being exposed as a complete phony who has no idea what they're doing. If your hand is raised, you're not alone. Imposter syndrome is incredibly common, especially among remote creatives. When you're working remotely, it's easy to feel disconnected from your accomplishments and compare yourself to others in your field. You might find yourself scrolling through social media, seeing everyone else's highlight reels, and thinking, wait, I'm not doing that. Am I even good at this? Maybe I should just give up and become a professional cat cuddler instead. But seriously, imposter syndrome can be a major roadblock to success. So let's talk about how to tackle it head-on. First and foremost, celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. Did you finally finish that project that's been lingering on your to-do list for weeks? Did you write a killer blog post that got tons of engagement? Did you simply manage to get out of bed and show up for work today? That's awesome. Give yourself some credit. Acknowledge your hard work and celebrate your wins, big or small. Another important step in combating imposter syndrome is to surround yourself with supportive people. Connect with friends, family, or fellow creatives who uplift you and celebrate your successes. Share your struggles with them, because chances are They've been there too. And don't be afraid to seek out mentors or coaches who can provide guidance and support. Having a cheering section in your corner can make all the difference. Chapter 4. Burnout. Recognizing the signs and prioritizing your well-being. Let's talk about burnout, because let's face it, it's a real occupational hazard for remote creatives. When your work is always a click away and you're constantly bombarded with notifications and deadlines, it's easy to fall into the trap of overworking yourself. But here's the thing. Burnout doesn't just magically disappear. It's like a persistent houseguest who refuses to leave, even when you've run out of snacks and clean towels. So how do we prevent burnout from becoming an unwelcome roommate in our lives? Well, it starts with recognizing the signs. Are you feeling constantly exhausted, even after a full night's sleep? Are you finding it difficult to concentrate or make decisions? Are you feeling cynical, detached, or generally unenthusiastic about your work? If so, you might be headed for burnout territory. But don't worry, there are ways to course correct. One of the most important things you can do is prioritize your tasks and avoid overcommitting. It's easy to say yes to every project that comes your way, especially when you're first starting out or eager to please. But taking on too much can quickly lead to overwhelm and burnout. So, learn to say no, delegate tasks when possible, and focus on what's truly important. Another crucial step in preventing burnout is taking regular breaks. Step away from your computer, get up and move your body, go for a walk outside, or simply close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Give your brain a chance to rest and recharge, and you'll come back to your work feeling refreshed and refocused. Chapter 5. The structure struggle, creating order out of the chaos of remote work. One of the biggest adjustments when transitioning to remote work is the lack of structure. When you're not bound by a traditional office setting, it can be challenging to stay organized, focused, and motivated. It's easy to fall into the trap of working in your pajamas, checking social media every 5 minutes, and basically just winging it. But trust me, a little bit of structure goes a long way. So, how do we create structure when our office is basically wherever we can find a Wi-Fi connection? It starts with creating a daily or weekly routine. This doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It could be as simple as setting aside specific times for work, exercise, meals, and relaxation. Having a routine can help ground you, provide a sense of normalcy, and make it easier to transition between work and personal time. Another helpful tip is to use productivity tools and apps. There are tons of great tools out there that can help you stay organized, manage your time effectively, and collaborate with others remotely. Experiment with different tools and find what works best for you. Whether it's a project management app, a time tracking tool, or a simple to-do list, find a system that helps you stay on top of your work and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Setting clear goals and deadlines is also crucial for staying motivated and productive when working remotely. When you're not accountable to a boss or team in an office setting, it's easy to let deadlines slip or projects fall by the wayside. Outro: taking care of you. Thriving as a remote creative. We've covered a lot of ground today, from battling loneliness and setting boundaries to taming imposter syndrome and preventing burnout. The remote life can be amazing, but it also comes with its own unique set of challenges. The key is to be proactive about taking care of your mental health. Remember, taking care of your mental health is not selfish. It's essential. It's like putting on your own oxygen mask first before assisting others on a plane. You can't show up as your best creative self if you're running on fumes. By recognizing and addressing these challenges, you can thrive as a remote creative and create your best work yet.